Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at the McFarlane Toys Skybound exclusive Invincible action figure. This figure came out back in 2017, so this is based off of the Mark Grayson / Invincible character from the comics, not the TV show that just came out on Amazon. I actually picked this up because of the TV show from Amazon, but I think I do like this a bit better than how the show portrayed it. There's not much differences, honestly, but I do just kind of like the general look with how he is. There is a normal version of him, and then this is the bloody variant. And these came out back, like I said, in 2017, and it's based off the Robert Kirkman Invincible line. And there's only this one and the regular version, but I really liked how they both looked, and I thought they were cool. Just from the display box here, as you can see, it just has the name, the sticker that says Invincible, as well as kind of a wide window display. Here on the edge you can see the Image Comics logo, the McFarlane Toys logo, as well as the Skybound logo. And then here in the background, if you take a look up here, it's just kind of little graphics from the art from the comics, so little cool illustrations from Kirkman himself. If we take a look at the back, kind of the same thing, nothing new, just a mishmash of different illustrations from the comic books. Great drawings, great illustrations, but they're just basically using it to promote to the people who know the comic and are trying to get them to pick this up, so they're definitely doing a good job there. And then there's just a little bit of blurbs down here. It says Invincible, exclusively from Skybound Entertainment and McFarlane Toys, limited edition Invincible action figure. And then there's just criteria and licensing stuff down here as well, so not much for a box really, but just a good piece to have displayed. And if you want to keep it in the box, you could definitely keep it like this and it would look great. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take him out of the box, so we're going to take a short break, and when we come back we will see what he looks like out of the box and how he poses and everything, so we'll just be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. So here is Invincible outside of his box, and one thing I was going to point out is that the box when it came is actually pretty light, but once you actually take the figure out, he has some weight to him, which I like, especially with how small he is. He definitely did not come in a way that I thought was going to be efficient. It was just kind of a simple small box, but the figure was definitely worth it, and definitely holds out. So what comes with them is the figure, as you can see, as well as the two hands. And I did trade out one of the hands. This guy, he originally had a balled up fist here, but I traded out with one of the more open hands just to give it a look, and I do like the variation. I'm usually not a fan of accessories that are just interchangeable, like hands or heads, and these were the only accessories that came with it, unfortunately. But I actually think it adds a different dynamic to his different poses and stuff, which is going to be kind of the selling point of this figure. But generally speaking, I think the figure looks absolutely great. You have his suit, which you can tell with all the blues and yellows, and then the black underneath, and then it's just covered in blood. For those of you that are a fan of the Amazon TV show, you know that in episode 8, this is very much how he looks for most of the episodes. So yeah, I thought they just did great detail there. One of my favorite things on this figure is the detail on the face. You have the blood running from his head, the top of his headband, all the way down his face, and it kind of goes from there with a nice flow, so that you start at the top here and the blood just sort of flows down and sort of just decadently just gets all over his body. And for the backside too, they didn't lit up, so he has blood splatters all across his back, all the way down the sides of his legs, on the back of his calves. So they kind of went all out, and I really appreciate that, especially for the bloody variant of this guy. Another great feature that this figure comes with is when it comes to articulation, the first thing I noticed was he does have ball joints in his shoulders, but I don't know if you can see here, when you change it, it actually still has the curvatures of his pecs right here. So you can pose him in his arms as much as you want, but you won't lose that depth of what his muscles look like there. And you know, that's on both sides too. So if you can see what I'm saying, you still have his full muscle right there. And I think that was really cool. You don't see a lot of figures that do that. In terms of articulation, his head does a full 360, as well as up and down. His rotator joints here for the shoulders, for both of them here. He has a hinge joint for the elbow. And then it's weird, he has 2 wrist joints. He's got one that's about halfway up his wrist, that moves like that. And then he has a wrist joint that goes up and down and turns as well, where you can replace the hands and everything. So this guy is the one that's interchangeable. Then up more is this guy, which the whole piece moves. I thought it was a weird tactic, but having that on both hands kind of gives you more posability, and is able to kind of give you, I don't know, just a bit more range in how you want to pose them. The posing, however, and articulation starts to slack off here in the midsection. There is no torso movement, it's just one solid piece. I traditionally don't mind that about figures. I kind of hate the half piece chest pieces that come with them, so I don't mind that as much. I would have liked some articulation, but that I'm not worried about it too much. And then his legs are hinge back and forth. Same with his knees, but his knees have a bit more range in terms of articulation. They're able to bend back and forth pretty well, and they have a lot of, you know, good girth and standing power to be able to pose them, you know, bent down or in the mid-run or something. And then down here, and these are always the most problematic, are the ankle joints. And these are hinged and just go up and down like that. But especially when these get produced, I've always noticed in the past, there's a definite sort of stickiness that happens to them, you know? So this guy, you know, if I move him too much on this right one here, I know it's going to pop off, so I have to be careful when, you know, I'm posing them. But as well as hinge joints, they do rotate some. They have a decent range of motion, so it's not terrible there. And then in terms of articulation, that's about it. You know, I think he's great for what I paid for him, which I think aftermarket price was about $25. The fact that he comes with 2 sets of hands, again, I wasn't crazy about it as an accessory, but I do think that that does give him more posability, like I said. Another thing I love that you don't ever see in superhero stuff is the fact that the knee joints are covered up, so you can clearly see the knee joint right inside there. But with how you pose them and how most people are going to pose them, you're probably actually never going to see that joint because you have sort of the knee pads covering it up from his suit. So I do like that aspect of it as well. Other than that, though, I think this guy's a great figure. There is one small issue I had, and it was when I was actually exchanging the hands, and I was basically swapping one out for the other. I noticed that as I'm taking it off, there's that big yellow piece right there, and when I was bending the hinges to pose his hands, I realized that they had painted that on, and the paint chipped off, so you don't really have so much of a bloody yellow suit. It's just basically a clean yellow right there, and that's not what I want. I'm sure in my kits, my paint kits, I can fix that no problem, and it'll just blend right in, so it's not really an issue in my opinion, but it is one of those things that immediately the paint chipped off when I was trying to pose his hands, and it was kind of a letdown. The only one other thing that I would say is a drawback, and this is me being nitpicky, so it's not even that serious, but there is no peg holes in the bottom of his feet, and McFarlane toys are pretty much known for having peg holes, even if there is no peg stand for the character, they're used to having it, so I was kind of shocked that he didn't include it on this figure, but again, that's just me nitpicking. Outside of that, though, I'd say this guy is well worth the money, especially if you're a fan of the show. And even if you're not, just having kind of like an odd sort of superhero character, he really has that look that just kind of gives you, I don't know, sort of an epicness that even if you're not familiar with the character, you kind of want from your other figures. You know, I kind of compare, this figure to, some of the stuff that Hasbro has been doing recently, and, we're never going to see them do anything like this, but he definitely is something that I think more toy makers should strive towards. But yeah, kind of a quick review, guys. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment below, whether it's about the figure or even the TV show Invincible. Just let me know your thoughts and what you think. And until next time, this is Aces signing off.